Hello, welcome to my review of Ormonde Jayne's Ormonde Woman. I've chosen to do another Ormonde Jayne review purely because I was going to review Sampaquita next, but I got my sample out of its box and sprayed it and it smelled off, so I was getting a bit worried thinking, they're going to start to turn. I'm really familiar with what an off perfume smells like, and that one was definitely not how it should have smelled. I can tell. So this one is Ormonde Woman. They do Ormonde Man as well, which I presume, because I've got the Discovery pack, so I have them all. Yeah, this one, my Ormonde Jayne experience so far hasn't blown me away. I do appreciate that, you know, what they do, but I've just had a problem with longevity of most of them, and I'm out of breath because I just came running in from the living room, sorry. Most of them have had, not smelt the same, but had a similar feel. Anyway, I have a sample, it's not a bottle thing, so I won't be showing you the packaging. So I'll go through the notes with you, as usual. Oh sorry, this is a Chypre fragrance, and it was launched in 2002. I'm not really sure how it's a Chypre. I know Chypres can be bended and twisted, but this doesn't follow the usual pattern. There's no oak moss in it, there's no kind of labdanum in it, there's no bergamot in the top, and those are three very typical notes of a Chypre fragrance. But anyway, so this does have a really cool note in it though. So the top notes are grass oil, more specifically, coriander and cardamom. So it's a very green, spicy, somewhat citrusy top. The heart notes are violet, jasmine, and then the note that makes this really interesting and is something quite different and apparently unusual is black hemlock. So from my experiences with perfumers and reading up about them all the time, black hemlock is part of the fir family, or, and I don't mean fir, you know, fir trees or pine, you know, that kind of take on it. So that does give this quite an interesting twist. And then the base is sandalwood, amber, cedar and vetiver. So something about cedar, I was reading the other day, do you know cedar is used in, I think it was something ridiculous like 80% of perfumes or fragrances. That's just an astonishing statistic, I think. Cedar must give something really special. On its own it's beautiful, but yeah, I mean it must really round out a fragrance really well, or, you know, create a lovely base. But anyway, I'll spray it on this hand. I've been wearing it for a couple of days. Yeah, this one, I don't know about this one. So the opening, my first impressions are this is immediately masculine, even though it's the Ormonde Woman. Yeah, this, because it's got things like vetiver and this kind of grassy and quite heavy pine kind of smell, it does smell more masculine than it does feminine, but that doesn't matter anyway. I think either sets could wear this. So I'm not usually a fan of things that have pine in them, but or things that smell like pine that are can verge on being detergent smelling. This is obviously a really beautifully sourced note and ingredient, because it's got that kind of pine tingly feel. It's really grassy as well, but what's immediate to me is the vetiver. The vetiver is already showing itself, and that's another dodgy note for me. I'm not sure if I like it or not yet, and it can make things smell quite masculine and dry, and it's immediate when you smell it when it's wet. So yeah, I'm kind of reading from a review I wrote earlier on. So yeah, it's got that kind of pine needle smell to it, and it's grassy, and then you've also got that masculine vetiver, which is also a type of grass, so you can kind of imagine what it's like. Coriander is also really strong in this. Coriander is a really weird one when you smell it, the actual essential oil of it. It's not the leaf, it's the seed. So it has a real, almost kind of dirty lime smell. It's a really weird one. I got the essential oil of it because I've got my perfume kit, and it's not something that I don't know if I'd choose it to go in things, but it's definitely really coriander and grass and this kind of piney smell. So excuse me, sorry. So yeah, I think, like, you know, the greenness of this, it's done really, really nicely. It's a green smelling fragrance, but it's just got that spice from the coriander. It's like a spicy green kind of smell. But all of her fragrances that I've smelled so far, apart from one, which is Tolu, which I'll link the review up here if you want to go and watch it. That's more of a like balsamic, golden toned kind of fragrance. The others that I've smelled so far have all had this kind of fresh elegance to them, and this one's no exception. It does have this kind of spring-like, somewhat light and fresh fragrance, even though they've got these kind of darker notes in. It's really weird. They have this kind of theme running through them. The same way as if you smelt loads of perfumes from Lush in one go. They have this lush feel. I'm getting the Ormonde Jayne vibe now after smelling quite a few. So yeah, I really like it. So I did write down that, you know, the hemlock note in this is perfect. It's not too piney. It's not overly, you know, overtaking everything. But there's just a little bit too much vetiver in this for me. It starts to come through quite a lot on my skin. I don't know about yours, but it does on mine. So when it's starting to dry down, I did notice, which is quite unusual, that it kind of smells like there's geranium in it, and I don't know where that comes from because it's not a listed note at all, but geranium has this kind of rich rosy tone to it, but a little bit more earthy, and this I don't know, it feels like it's got geranium in it. People might disagree with me, but I do. I think it's got that. You know, I can appreciate it for what it is, but I do think, again, with a lot of them that I've tried, the longevity on me they just don't cling to my skin. They seem to fade out quite quick, and then you're left with this one, just pretty much like a vetiver base. I don't really get any kind of warm amber tones. Sandalwood's quite powdery and exotic. I don't get any of that. It does dry down even more masculine than how it started, because it's quite a strong vetiver. So that's here, and it's just, yeah, it's just really vetiver-y, if that's even a word. But yeah, you know, it's got some really nice facets to it, and it does kind of change quite a bit. But this is, I wouldn't say this is woman, but you know, who am I to say what woman is? Some people wear really masculine fragrances, or completely masculine fragrances. I wear women's fragrances. So yeah, that's kind of it really. As I said, on the whole, I haven't been blown away by Ormonde Jayne yet. You know, I'll still hold out hope. I did have one called Taif, I think, which has been my favourite so far, but I didn't have my review channel when I used that one, and that was really, really nice. But yeah, that's it really. I mean, overall, it's a green, grassy, piney, somewhat smoky fragrance for women. I'll see you guys soon for another review, and thanks for watching. I'm off to my friends for dinner now, so I'll see you soon. Bye bye.